Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, baseball fans of all ages, this is Todd Leitz, public address announcer for your Los Angeles Dodgers, and you are listening to the Blue Heaven Podcast.
Well, folks, we are completing, I guess, our podcast dream team trinity here. We've had all the boys on. Joining us today, live via the magic of cell phones, is a man with the golden pipes that we miss so dearly at Dodger Stadium. He's the in-stadium voice of your Los Angeles Dodgers. We'll have to say it right. Welcome to the show, Mr. Todd Leitz. How are you doing, man? And how are you braving this weird time we're dealing with in L.A.?
It's definitely a very, very strange year, a strange season, a strange time that we're going through. But I'm very thankful that we're playing baseball at the very least, because that is this one little kernel of normalcy that just makes me feel like things are going to be okay.
Yeah, we're very appreciative of what you guys are doing. Like I mentioned at the top there, you've now completed our dream team trinity. We've had DJ Severe on, we've had Ruehle on a few times. Love them. They're fantastic. Now we have the final piece of the mesh that makes that the stadium pop. Like I like to tell DJ, it's just all you guys working together so well, and we're missing it this year at the ballpark, but we still know it's the best part to the Dodger Stadium's the best place in the world to see any baseball, and at least we get to still hear you guys on TV. Everything sounds pretty much normal, but talking about let's actually talk about those guys. I should say, you work with two of the best of the business. You guys, everybody there, well-oiled machine. How cool is your job? And how great is it, man?
Best job I've ever had. I would never give it up willingly. So I'm just so stoked to be there. Yeah, you said it right. We are a well-oiled machine, and we have been for 6 seasons now. And we all work together. There's a kind of unspoken communication where we have eye contact now. We're socially distanced. We're masked up. But we still have eye contact, and we still kind of work off each other. And now it's gotten to the point where it's just a rhythm. It's a rhythm between what the DJ's doing, what I'm doing. Then Dieter will come in with a prompt or something, and as soon as he plays that last note, boom, I'm right in there. And great credit to our crowd noise person, Jessica Ray, who's doing a great job with our crowd noise. That the Dodgers have really put some good stuff together. My producer, Marty Messer, who's, doesn't really get very many accolades, but he's the one calling the show. And our sound guy, Patrick Sweeney, who does such a great job with our sound and makes it sound good in a weird place. The Ravine is a very natural, strange acoustic space that sounds different every night. He always makes it sound good, and he takes great care in that. And so we are a team, and we really love each other. And we're just happy to be at least socially distanced from each other at the very least.
How great is that new sound system there too? Because you guys are really the only handful of people that have been able to enjoy it.
It rocks, man. It's when it's got some bass going on, you can feel it. It goes right through your body, and it's since it has the 2-speaker array instead of a single speaker array. It fills the ballpark in a more even way, whereas. Yeah. The one last time would be really hot in the Loge level of left field, but not so hot down in certain areas. So it really sounds good. I haven't been able to be all over the ballpark yet to hear it, but man, it sounds good from where I'm sitting in the press box.
Yeah, I know DJ Severe had told me that I was going to be able to hear it from my house in Pasadena, so I'm kind of still waiting on that, man. But we might have to turn it up a little bit World Series time. So what's it been like, Todd? I know you guys were expecting fans this year. You were expecting a whole new ballpark experience for everybody, and obviously things change on a dime pretty quickly. But what's it been like being at these games? Being the announcer that you are, and getting to announce to a crowd of cardboard cutouts, if you will.
It's definitely strange. I mean, there's no question about the fact that we miss you guys. We miss the roar of the crowd. We miss the great fans. And so in that sense, it's kind of strange. If the crowd noise was not there, it would be very, very eerie.
Yeah.
It would be. I think the crowd noise cut out during an inter-squad game, and everything went silent for a minute, and it was just weird, bro.
Yeah.
But we're doing it just like we would normally do it, and we're trying to make it as normal for the players as it possibly can. Some of the guys they really feed off the crowd. They really need the crowd to get them going, and so we're just trying to give them their music, give them their announcement, give them their prompts, and some video here and there as well, and we're just trying to make it as normal for them as we can, because we want them to feel good about what they're doing out there and feel like they're getting a little push. And if we can give them that little bit to help get them over the hump, then we've done our job.
I guess usually it's look good, feel good. This one it's sound good, feel good, and it seems to be working. The Dodgers, by record, are the best team in baseball, and we know that, and we feel good about that as well as fans. A lot of people obviously know your voice. You've been in Los Angeles homes, Dodger fans' homes for the last 5, plus 6 years now. You've been in the LA area for the longest time, doing radio, doing all that. People know you. People know the voice, but we got to get to know more about the man behind the voice. And I mean, right off the bat, we got to point out that maybe a lot of people don't know that you did grow up a Dodger fan, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, I grew up in New England. I came from the Boston area, so I grew up a Red Sox fan. Ooh, and I suffered mightily with the Red Sox, just as we're all kind of suffering through this, through a championship drought with the Dodgers. So I can relate. And yeah, it was very difficult to have your favorite team would always get so close, but so far. So I grew up with that. And when they finally won the World Series in 2004, I was like, all right, cool, I'm good now. And I was living in LA at the time, and I've been in LA for 35 years. So, so during that time, I became a Dodger fan, and now working for the Dodgers, obviously, it's it's a whole nother level. I heard you guys talk on a previous podcast about some of the managers that you've suffered through over the past several years.
Yeah,
and in the '90s, it was not real easy to be a Dodger fan when the ownership group was not as solid as they are now. But I have been, and I've always admired the Dodgers for their social activism as well as their play on the field. And hey, I was born in 1963, the year they beat the Yankees in the World Series. I was born the year Sandy Koufax had an amazing year, so I kind of feel like I have a link of some kind to the Dodgers, because for me it's always anybody but the Yankees. It's always been that for me.
That's a good way to get into it.
Yeah. As long as any team that can take it to the Yankees as a Red Sox fan, you're going to appreciate that.
But guys, let's be clear. In the World Series that the Dodgers played against the Red Sox, there was no question of who I wanted to win, where my loyalties lied, and I was right with the Dodgers. I sat in my chair on that Game 3 of the World Series for 9 hours without taking a pee, because I did not want to be away from my seat when somebody hit a home run to end that game. So yeah, I was all in Dodger blue for that.
That sounds painful. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it, Todd. I'm not that strong, man. All right, man. So you got all that time under your belt as a Dodger fan, as an LA native. You've been here that long. I think we consider you an LA native now. I think those are the 10 years are overruled. You're officially an LA native. I think it is. But,
I appreciate that.
So do you have? I mean, maybe it's during your time working with the Dodgers. Maybe it's not. But do you have a specific favorite Dodger Stadium memory?
I got to say that when Max Muncy hit the home run in Game 3 of the World Series against the Red Sox at like 1:09 in the morning or something,
right?
That was a huge moment. Turner's walk-off home run against the Cubs in what was that, 17?
Yep.
That pretty much propelled us to the World Series. That was huge. When Kenley was able to close out Game 6 of the World Series in 17 on I guess that was Halloween or something, and ensure that we were going to come back for a Game 7. And at that point, we were like, we got this. We're going to win. Those were all huge moments. And little moments were also fantastic. Moments that I'll never forget. When Corey Seager broke up a Giants pitcher's no hit bid and with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, and we lost the game anyway 4-0. But it was like, I don't care, we won because Corey came through.
We did it.
You know, and so there's moments, and there's also moments between the crew up there, between Severe and Dieter and Marty and I, that we, you know, with jokes that we make that have lived on for 6 seasons. So these are all wonderful times. You know, and I'd gone to Dodger Stadium a lot. My first time there, I went and sat in Carl Reiner's seats, the great comedian nice. Carl Reiner, with my father-in-law. He took me to the game, and his client was Carl Reiner. And he said, "We're going to go sit in Carl's seats." And I said, "Okay, that sounds cool." We were like right behind the home plate. We watched, I forget who was pitching that night, but man, they pitched a gem. And that was a great moment at Dodger Stadium from the rich people's seats.
Heck yeah.
So that was great.
That's always a good way to take in a ball game, from the rich people's seats. One day I hope to be one of them.
One day we'll be there.
So you have double allegiance in a way. You have Dodger allegiance, you have Red Sox allegiance, but either way you're a baseball fan. Who's your all-time favorite player growing up?
My all-time favorite player was Ted Williams. He was just a fantastic person, human being. For his time. I'm sure that you could look at him now and find all kinds of different faults with him, but he was a war hero. He was a pilot. He was a hunter, an outdoorsman. He was a fantastic baseball player, and he was one of my first, I just loved the guy. I went to his baseball camp. He had a baseball camp in Massachusetts, and I went there when I was a little kid, learned how to play baseball. It was like going to spring training every summer. And playing, a whole bunch of games against other kids your age from all over the state. And it was just a fantastic experience to be at Ted Williams baseball camp. So he was my guy.
I mean, a hell of a hitter. That's a good person to take baseball camp from.
I'd throw that on the resume right there. That's went to Ted Williams baseball camp, and then boom, you're hired.
Yeah, you can have.
Yeah, he used to show up at the end of every session to meet the campers and take some pictures and stuff. And I wish I had some of those pictures because, I was a little kid, and all people had were Polaroids or something, so I don't have any of the pictures from that, but I still have some of my team pictures. I remember that time fondly because it really did teach me how to play the game of baseball, which I've been playing ever since.
So the people here know that you've been part of this LA scene now for some time, whether it's your time at KNX, definitely your time here calling ball games at Dodger Stadium. People might not know you're a longtime singer in a band. You want to tell us a bit about how that goes, and what's the latest in the musical career of Mr. Todd Leitz?
Well, recently I've had a chance to sing the national anthem at Dodger Stadium a couple times, and the cutouts, they never booed me once, man. So that was
not
cool.
A tough crowd, or a tough crowd because they're stiff. It's a very stiff crowd.
Yeah, actually, we had an inter-squad game with some of the guys that some of the minor league players that are off at USC, so they got a chance to come and play. Gavin Lux was among them, and he had 2 home runs that day. But I told him, okay, I'll come in, but I have to sing the anthem, and I have to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" because I'd always wanted to do "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" from the press box, like Harry Carey.
Yeah.
All right, fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch, led today by yours truly, Harry Carey style. Dodger Stadium PA announcer Todd Leitz, and accompanied by Dodger Stadium organist Dieter Ruehle. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for the Dodgers. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for the Dodgers. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
And it would have really been fun to do it drunk, but I was stone cold sober. So being able to perform with Dieter is always fun. I've done that a few times, and so he accompanied me both times, and that was a lot of fun. So that was something that recently did. But I've been singing for pretty much all my life, and for either being in musical theater on stage through high school and college, and I've been in a band I've been playing with the same guys since 1996, and music is just something that's always part of my life. I play harmonica too, so I play some harp in our band, and I just like to use I got a lot of hot air, so I like to blow it out.
I mean, Todd, speaking of music, man, with a voice like that, we got to know what your go-to karaoke song is. Because if I had my money on it, I'd say it's probably The Gambler, but I don't know. That could be anything.
Well, I don't do karaoke. I have the luxury and the honor of being able to stand in front of a great band of guitarists, drummers, piano, and be able to sing on a regular basis. Although we've been on hiatus during this pandemic, it hasn't been smart for us to get together, so we haven't been jamming. Although we have been recording, but so I don't really, I don't really do karaoke. But let's see, if I had a go-to song, I don't know, man. It might be something like Tears for Fears or David Bowie. I might do like Heroes or Golden Years from David Bowie, or maybe Let's Dance or China Girl, something like that.
I would like to listen to all of these renditions of these songs, honestly.
I think you're lying. You already have your set list planned out, and you're doing an all Bowie night, and that's cool. I can mess with that, Well,
we actually play some of these songs, so I figure, okay, well, if I can sing with a band, I'm sure I can sing it karaoke style. L.A. Woman would be a fun one. Do a little Jim Morrison in there, Well, but I do all kinds of singing. I was in a master chorale where we sang, sacred music and very classical type choral music, and I've been in a gospel choir where I was like one of two white guys in the whole choir, and we toured around California and sang in churches from Watts to Bakersfield to Oakland to the steps of the Capitol in Sacramento. So I've done a lot of cool singing in my life, and it's something I'm not ready to let go of. So beautifully, the voice can kind of stay with you as long as you take care of your voice. You can still broadcast, you can still announce, you can still sing as long as you're healthy.
As somebody, I'm gonna cheat a little bit here and help myself personally. I'm somebody as somebody who blows out his voice regularly. The only reason I've been able to do the show so consistently and sound normal-ish is because I haven't been going to karaoke, because that's not a thing really anymore. What are your trade secrets to keeping the voice in shape and happy and healthy?
Well, that's a good question. I'm pretty blessed that I'm knocking on wood that I don't get laryngitis and stuff like that. But one thing that's always works really good is just is whenever you start to feel something funky in your voice, I gargle with hydrogen peroxide almost on a daily basis. It's good for your teeth and gums, but it's also good to burn up any bacteria and stuff in your throat. So it kind of kills anything that might be trying to take root in your system. Right. So I do that a lot. And always at the first sign of some kind of, you start to feel some weird something in your throat, and I go to that. I try to drink a lot of water. Hydration is key when I'm singing and when I'm announcing. I've got one of those Gatorade squeeze bottles filled with water. I'm hitting off of that thing the entire game. And the only drawback to that is if you drink too much, then you got to pee. So you got to be careful about that.
Yeah, when they go 18 innings, it's really bad.
Yeah, it can be pretty uncomfortable. But so that's good. And when you're not feeling right, it's always good to just keep your voice moist, something warm with lemon or vinegar and honey. It just soothes your throat and allows you to keep going. So those are the pretty simple ones. And then if you've got some kind of lozenge that you like a Ricola or something like that, you kind of do that between innings or whatever, and that can help you out a lot too.
It turns out I've been doing this all wrong the entire time, because surprisingly for me, going to a bar, drinking too much, screaming at my friends over the sound of the bar and doing a bunch of karaoke songs and screaming those is not good for your voice, because
That doesn't help. No.
I didn't see, there was no point of parallel in our voice care management. So I've learned a lot today. I appreciate that, Todd.
Well, I got to, when I was younger, I used to go to concerts and I'd be like singing along with the band and stuff. I'd be like one of those guys where you want to look at him and say, "Hey, do you like this song? Hey, who sings this song?" Yeah, oh yeah, it's the guy that's on stage, not you. But anyway, so I stopped doing that. I'd go to bars and stuff. I'm never yelling. It's like I don't baby my voice, but I'm aware of it. I'm just aware that certain things that you do that push it too far. And hey, man, I got a couple games this week. I got to be cool. So
yeah.
But it's hard to play rock and roll music and not drink a little bit, not have a little glass of whiskey or something. And sometimes that can help.
Yeah.
A little glass that kind of relaxes you, relaxes your muscles, relaxes your throat a little bit. I think the great opera singer Enrico Caruso used to drink a glass of whiskey before every performance. So I go with that. I run with that. I say if it's good enough for him, glass of whiskey is good enough for me too.
We also drink a glass of whiskey before every performance, coincidentally. Maybe that's what we're doing right.
Bottle. It's it loosens the inhibitions, and you could say dumb things in front of a microphone. It helps.
Get away with it.
I only recommend Todd's tips, by the way. Anybody's watching this or listening to this, only go with his tips. Don't go with ours. We are not recommended. But once again, doubling back, I would say your greatest talent is the ability to team up with everybody and just make people happy, get people psyched at Dodger Stadium. I mean, it was a nice transition, going from Eric to you, because like that iconic voice and I mean, personally, I think you do it better, and I'm not just saying that because you're on the phone with us, but just it's a great way to start a ball game, the drawn out, your Los Angeles Dodgers and all that, and the fan or the lineups and everything. It's a killer, and we appreciate the way your guys are able to get the fan base, however many there early at the games, anyways,
right,
psyched for some baseball.
You guys,
that's my favorite part is doing lineups and having people roar when I say one of the favorite players' names. I mean, Adrian Gonzalez was always a huge one. He would always get a huge ovation. Andre Ethier would get a big, and my favorite name to say was always Yasiel Puig. I always enjoyed saying that, so I'm missing him just for his name. But now I think my favorite is Max Muncy. I think I remember when Max first showed up, I was like, hey man, I hope that guy sticks around, because I love saying Max Muncy. I just love the way it kind of, it kind of like had a little sibilance to it, but then it, the M, the alliteration of the M's. I think about these things. I see one of them. I was thinking a lot about Mookie Betts when he first came to town.
Yeah.
I was like, how am I going to do Mookie Betts? Is it going to be, So you do put a little bit of thought into these things, and I'm happy to know that the transition felt good to Dodger fans, or at least to you guys.
Yeah, your art, the quandaries of an artist are not lost on a lot of fans, I believe. I'll speak for enough for the fan base there. You're doing it right.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I'm sure having fun. That's for damn sure.
Oh yeah, we can definitely feel it. And I mean, speaking personally, being at home and not being able to come to the stadium, not being able to experience a game, and in such like a strange, uncertain world, I didn't know what to expect. Game one going into this season, what the experience was going to be like. But I remember us watching game one and being like, hearing your voice in the background and hearing the organ and hearing Joe and Oral talking, it was like, you know what, like this is going to be okay. Like this season's going to be all right. It's going to be baseball. We're going to still have our Dodger baseball. We're still going to get to hear our guys all the time. We'll come back next year. We'll have our newly renovated stadium. We'll get to hear Todd yelling Mookie Betts at the top of his lungs. Like it's going to be okay. So appreciate you guys for all that you do, because you guys really did make this feel as normal of a year as it possibly could have been, I guess.
And you guys are going to love the stadium upgrades, man. Yeah. It's I haven't been around everything because we're not allowed to go to certain areas. but from what I've heard, and we have remote cameras everywhere, so we had our remote camera guy give us a little tour.
Oh, nice.
And the new set that they have out in center field, I can just picture a bunch of fans coming by while they're doing their pregame show out on that set in the center field front door area. It's very 60s looking, very kind of retro, cool. It's very LA, very Dodgers, Janet Marie Smith and the team that did the renovations really hit it big. And it's just a damn shame that we can't have the All-Star game here this year, but we'll have it in a couple years. So that's cool.
I can't wait, man. Can't wait.
It's going to be perfect. Well, Todd, we appreciate the time. We hope to see you at the stadium again sooner rather than later. Tell the fine folks where they could find you on social media.
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Todd Leitz. I do a lot of my Dodger type content on that. I'm at Todd Leitz on Instagram. But that's more like personal stuff. If you want to see all the good food that I cook, I do a lot of posts of my chef work. And,
add another talent to the list, huh?
There you go.
Yeah, I do love to cook. If you want to have me, wish your best buddy a happy birthday or give a shout out to somebody, you can get me on Cameo, which I've done hundreds of cameos over the course of this pandemic, and it seems to be very popular for people. So you can hit me up at cameo.com/Dodgers PA announcer, and you can find me there. And I don't charge too much for them. And I certainly haven't raised my prices during the pandemic, even though I'm getting a whole lot of requests and sometimes hard to keep up with. But I love being able to have that outlet with the fans. And there's fans from everywhere. I did one from Stockholm today.
Oh, wow.
And they come every year to Dodger Stadium, but they live in Stockholm, Sweden. So really cool that Dodger Nation is really Dodger Globe or Dodger World or something.
That's fantastic.
I like that. That's awesome.
You're the perfect man to be not taking advantage, but the perfect man for people to be, to utilize a platform like that. So that's perfect. We might have to check that out and have you just do the lineup for us one of these days or something. Again, guys, Todd Leitz, we appreciate your time.
I appreciate you guys. Keep doing a great job. I love your podcast, and we'll keep on listening, bro.
Awesome.
Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers.